You know, given the sci-fi inspirations of Kalki 2898, how do you think Nog Ashwin is going to do, like, the opening? Because, like, Star Wars famously has, like, the bomb and then the little text crawl. So I'm wondering if he's going to do something like that, or if it's going to be more like... Because it has such a happy vibe, you know what I mean? It's, like, such a cool, fun, future vibe. I'm like, okay, he's got to do something interesting at the top, you know? I would imagine.
I don't think he would do that text scroll.
No,
that is so iconically Star Wars, and the only way you can get away with it is if you're like making fun of it.
Here's the thing though, because I remember when Star Wars was dropping back in the day, I was talking to, I think it was Momita. She's like, they don't care about Star Wars here as much as they do in America. If a Shah Rukh Khan film comes out and a Star Wars film comes out, the Shah Rukh Khan film is going to destroy it.
Duh.
And I'm like, okay. That really puts things in perspective, right?
Right.
And so I'm like, he could get away with it. I feel like a lot of people who are watching these trailers haven't seen Star Wars.
Sure.
I vote for a text scroll, just like...
I say a text scroll is not the vibe. I think it's a cool kind of very grand opening with like cool font.
And voiceover?
Like smoke, I don't know.
There's going to be at least 3 minutes of voiceover.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
సమయం వచ్చింది భగవంతుని కల్పన సమస్త సృష్టి ఉంటుందంటారు అలాంటిది మీ కడుపులో ఆ భగవంతుడే ఉన్నాడు
Oh, interesting.
Her womb specifically? Oh wow.
రేపటి కోసం
ఈరోజుని చంపితే రేపేలా ఉంటుంది
నేను కాపాడుతా
ఒక
పెద్ద బౌంటీ వన్ షాట్ కాంప్లెక్స్కి వెళ్ళిపోతా సరే ఇంక చాలు
What?
This was unexpected.
Dang.
ఎన్ని యుగాలైనా ఎన్ని అవకాశాలు ఇచ్చినా మనిషి మారలేడు
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's wicked.
Oh my gosh. Oh! Whoa. This is looking really cool.
Damn! Wow! Yo!
Wow.
ఒక్క ఫైట్ కూడా ఓడిపోలేదు ఇది కూడా ఓడిపోను
Oh wow.
It's like all the sci-fi.
సార్ ప్రిపేర్ అయ్యి వచ్చాను
This looks dope.
I kind of wanted him to say, "Get your hands off her, you bitch." Isn't that the line from Aliens?
Oh yeah,
Sigourney
yeah.
Weaver?
Yeah. It is. Sorry, I didn't know which one you were referencing. But this looks so cool.
Are we watching this one now? The Hindi one?
Sure. Okay,
Yeah.
why not? I'll save it. I think it's the same thing but different song.
You know, when he was offering his hand,
Yeah.
I was like, well, he's quite the gentleman, because that would have wrecked my shoulder.
He's super strong though.
I know.
That's the whole point. So I'm getting this sense of like, whatever it is, this has been happening over and over again. There seems to be other women who are also pregnant and maybe like carrying the special child or whatever.
The chosen one?
The chosen one, but they keep getting killed.
Ah.
Is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. And so now we're like in the future. But I don't really know what Prabhas's deal is. Because like, But like you see this and you get the sense of like the past, right? And the future. And so it's a cycle. But it's also kind of cool how, obviously that's in the past, right? But then you get that sense of like the past and the future or the present colliding. Like that thing that the lady's in looks really futuristic, but the way she's dressed.
Yeah. Is that Amitabh Bachchan singing right now?
Yes, I think so.
God, the sheer volume of people, all the costumes.
Yeah.
I wonder how non-linear the story is.
Yeah.
एक भी fight नहीं हारा, ये भी नहीं हारूंगा.
That's just giving me Pacific Rim vibes.
No, actually, you know what?
इस बार मैं prepare होके आया हूँ. आजा.
So, when they were loading the people into the pods, the first place my brain went to, and I cannot be the only one that thought this, but the first place my brain went to was the Matrix, because when you had the people like where you keep everyone asleep, basically in the dream world, right?
Yes.
I don't know what that means, if it's just a prison or if there's some kind of virtual element to the whole thing that we'll find out about. I don't imagine that's what's going to happen. I think that it's just the look that was borrowed, not necessarily the concept.
Yeah.
You know, and so, but on that, when Brabus comes out in that, device, go watch Matrix Revolutions. It feels quite similar, when you have the guys in the mecha outfits, but here it looks like it's like this sort of egg-shaped glass in front of him. Whereas in Matrix Revolutions, you were just exposed. And so, but you had like these arms that you were kind of wielding. It's very similar, in terms of the scaling and everything. It's much closer to Matrix Revolutions than it is to Pacific Rim.
Sure.
So
I think it's just because Pacific Rim was more recent, and so that's like in my brain a little bit more.
Sure.
Yeah.
That was the only one like that we saw in the entire trailer is the thing. So I'm like, where did that come from? It leaves me with so many questions. But the biggest thing I noticed is that during all the war sequences, Brabus is nowhere to be seen. And so I'm wondering, that's why it's the question begs in my mind, like, how non-linear is this? So much of this has to be told in flashback, as is the case oftentimes with stuff like Bahubali or the more recent Brabus story. You often have these like stories that have a huge thing that goes into Animal, it's like so much of the movie is a flashback, and it's like this crazy non-linear structure, and I feel like the same thing has to happen here.
This feels humongous. I'm like, how long is this movie gonna be? How many parts is this gonna be? Like,
well, I imagine the first part's gonna be at least 3 hours.
It feels immense, like really, really epic, and so much going on.
Well, what's cool about this one is that you're getting something totally different from the previous trailers. And so they each feel like their own installment of giving the audience a new thing to bite onto, to snack on until the movie comes out. And I think that's actually really cool that there's so much. Here's the thing is, if this was an American movie, I'd be much more worried. Because if it's an American film, I'm like, you got way too many locations for a 2-hour movie, right? But because it's an Indian film, you can be rest assured that more likely it's 3 hours. I'm like, okay, you can justify having these many scenes and locations because, it'll fill out 3 hours time, right?
Yeah.
Because like, I remember the first time I experienced that feeling was Smokin' Aces. There was like 50 locations in the teaser, and I'm like, there's no way that this movie's gonna
make sense.
There's no way.
Yeah.
And it turned out most of the movie was flashbacks into different places and stuff like that. And so the visuals on this are stunning. It's
stunning.
Yeah, it's really cool. I think that it really looks like they spent their money wisely. Because it's very easy to have an inflated budget and then it still looks like crap. Like, they spent their money wisely. The artists, the director, producers, they all came together to produce something that looks really good. So
yeah, this is coming out next week, and so I feel the effects look really, really good. Like
it's dialed in.
It's dialed in. This is them saying like, okay, maybe in the other trailers, whatever, the other teasers, maybe it wasn't quite all there, but seeing this as the like final pre-release trailer, I'm thinking this looks great, you know, and I'm very excited and I'm very curious to see kind of how the story is going to be now, because visual wise, spot on. It's looking awesome. Now I'm just like, if you can just match the story, the characters, like making us care about them, making a coherent story that we can get locked into.
Yeah.
If you can do all of that while maintaining the super cool visuals, then you have a really strong movie, you know?
So the runtime is 3 hours and 56 seconds.
Okay, I thought you were going to
56
say 56 minutes and be like, wow.
Access to really highly complex visual effects, you know, programs and whatnot. What it comes down to more than anything is time. Time is the biggest factor.
Right.
Just like with AAA video games. It's just time. If you have enough time to develop something properly, it'll look really good. And it feels like they really gave this a lot of time.
Yeah.
And so the fact that they've managed to keep a lid on it this long is quite remarkable because, you know, stuff gets out and then that's one of the things that Indian producers get really afraid of. And that's why you generally don't have like a proper trailer until a month, at least traditionally, a month before the movie would come out. Because, you know, Indian producers were concerned about that kind of stuff. And so I'm actually quite impressed by this and I'm looking forward to it. You guys, thanks so much for hanging out. I'm Jabby Koway. This is
Achara Kirk.
Peace out.